And so it is my pleasure to turn today's webinar over to Therese. And just before I do that, a reminder, please use the chat function or use the raise hand function or use the Q&A. With that, I'm going to sign off and turn it over to Therese, who will introduce our panelists and be the moderator for today. Therese, take it away.
Thank you so much, Marla. It really is a great privilege to do this. And Marla, just to be sure, I am sharing my slides, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Just to be completely sure. So I believe here we are. And I want to say thank you. And I am really privileged to introduce the nonprofit, the Advisory Network for Small Business. And we are going to talk about growing your business with an ANSB advisory team, a way to get advisors and to, we've seen, help a business that's established grow and put in a foundation to grow faster and bigger, to really transform a business within a year. So, oops, wait a minute. Here we are. Yes. Today we're going to have, I'm not going to waste our time by introducing our panel in great detail, but we do have Brittany Flanagan, who's the Senior Vice President of M&T Bank and also the ANSB Board Vice Chair. Neil Perry from the ANSB Board, who's the owner and founder of a video production company, and who's also going to speak about how ANSB works. We have Fran McNeil, who's on the ANSB board and is also the executive director of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program here in the Philadelphia region. I'm going to let each of them speak in turn. We're going to begin, though, by asking our participants to introduce themselves. Then we'll go on. Brittany will talk about the program, the ANSB advisory teams, what it is we're set up to do and how generally it gives value. Neil will talk about how ANSB advisory teams operate. Then Fran is going to talk about the benefits, the real benefits that come to established businesses with great potential and how they can leverage advisory teams and the ANSB advisory teams in particular. Then we expect to have a good long time for questions and answers. And we'll come back and Brittany will talk about the application process. And I'll make sure you know about our 10KSB answers. Just so you know, we are going to have, a follow-up email that PIDC will send you that will give you a PDF of all the slides today and also some links to and some information about how to follow up with us and how to see if and explore whether an ANSB team is good for you. So with that, the first piece of our program is to introduce attendees. And I'm going to name two people. The first person who we're going to ask to speak, to give you a little warning, is Abdul Rahim Muhammad. Abdul, we're going to ask you to take the lead, and I'll ask you to unmute your microphone. And we're going to ask you, please, to tell us your business and tell us about what your business is very briefly, and tell us what you're here to learn or what your particular interest is. And then after that, Andre Andrews will be up. And then when I call on Andre, I'll tell you the next person who's up. So Abdul, are you able to speak? I'm hoping.
My hearing is poor, and so I'm really not clearly understanding your question.
Could you tell us your business, the name of your business, and any particular question you have for us today?
Well, the name of my business is the ICPIC New Africa Center, and we, we, we're a CDC that is involved in a real estate development project to transform the 4200 block of Lancaster Avenue. And then we are a community center that housed the New Africa Center Muslim American Museum and Archive. So we do a lot of different things. I attended this workshop because I was interested in learning more about how I can build my advisory board and take our organization to the next step in our growth.
Thank you. Thank you. And Anita Williams, would you speak after Andre Andrews? Andre, could you introduce yourself and your business? And I need to.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
My name is Andre Andrews. I'm the owner of Dre's Water Ice and Ice Cream. We manufacture water ice and ice cream for major festivals, our retail location, and for wholesale clients. I'm looking to learn about advisory board. I'm looking to put together an advisory board to help me grow my business and help me scale and advise me during my while I'm scaling. So that's what I'm looking to gain today.
Great. And Anita, you'll be next, but April Powell, you'll go after Anita. Anita, I may need to allow you to talk. Can you just introduce your business? And if you have a new question that you haven't heard before, please let us know. There you go. No, I know what's good. I'm sorry, my controls are difficult. Anita, can you speak now? No.
Okay.
You can. Good.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. My name is Anita Williams. I'm the operations director of Sisters Returning Home. And I just wanted to find out more about how to support the organization to be more sustainable. COVID has had its impact on our sustainability and contracts and things of that nature. So I wanted to see if there was something else that we could do to strengthen the foundation of the organization.
Wonderful, thank you. And so April, you're next, but Chun Hay, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. You will speak after April. April?
How you doing? My name is April Powell, owner of Beyond Basic Learning Academy 1 and 2. I recently took the 10K SB summit. So I'm just here to kind of get like a refresher on the advisory board and if it will be beneficial to my company at this time.
Excellent. Emily Wang will go after Chan Hay. Chan?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, my name is Chen Hay. I have a small business, a lobby shop in the city of Philadelphia. But because of COVID, the government want me to close and the building want me to close and I close it. But I want to come back and I want to reopen it again. And so I'm trying to find a way how I can come back and to open my small lobby shop. That's why I come here. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Eric, you'll be after Emily.
Hi, this is Emily Wang. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sure. Hi, this is Emily Wang. I'm a realtor with Century 21. I also sit on board of Great Philadelphia Association Realtors and the Pennsylvania Association Realtors. We're trying to set up the Asian American Real Estate Association of America to help the AAPI, Asian American, and then Asian American and the Pacific Islander community to help them increase the home ownership and also bring the real estate professionals to help them so we can build a good team to help the Asian Americans in the home ownership and all the resources and access in language and the other homeowner benefits to them. So the reason I come, I want to get to know more information about PIDC. I went to one of the PIDC events this year, and it was very impressive. So I want to get to know more and then spread out the words about your program to the people I know in the Asian community. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. And Ryan, you'll be after Eric. Eric? Is it Eric Truxon?
It's close to correct. My name is Eric Truxon, and I'm president of Just It's Electric. And we're located in West Philly, 39 Ford Road, Suite 1 on the first floor. And I'm looking to enhance or even refresh my current advisory board.
Great, thank you. And let's see, Ryan, you're next, but Sarah, would you be ready to speak after Ryan does? Ryan? Ryan, are you able? Ryan, are you able to unmute and speak?
Ryan actually put a quick note in the Q&A that his microphone is not connected.
Oh, okay. Thank
But
you.
he's watching to learn more about all of this. Thank you very much.
Very good, thank you. And so Sarah, you're next, and Sandra, you'll be after that. Sarah?
Hi, my name's Sarah Watson. My business company is called the Mars Collective LLC. We're currently not in Philadelphia, but we're looking to expand into the Philadelphia area. We provide employment supports to people with disabilities and business consultations to help businesses run more effectively and train them to work and hire people with disabilities.
Great, thank you. And Sandra Gilliard, is that, have I pronounced it correctly?
It's Julia. It's
Julia,
yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Sandra Julia, and I am the founder and CEO of Feminally Free. We are a transformational consulting and training service for women of color based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're a startup just about 3 years old. And we provide women the opportunity to build the confidence and courage they need to navigate systematic and systemic gender biases. So we help women be able to speak up, stand up, and get visibility in their respective places. I am looking to, number one is to see if I qualify to get the assistance. As I said, I am a new startup, and so I'm just trying to see whether or not I qualify, and then how it would help me define and organize and operate the services.
Wonderful, thank you. Well, thank you all for being with us today. Have I missed anyone?
Yes.
Who did I miss?
Sharif and Small Business Philly.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Why?
Hello, can you hear me?
Sharif, can you? Yes, Sharif.
Hello. So I'm Sharif Pendleton. I have a small company called Philadelphia Laser and Industrial Design, or CLAD for short. I recently completed the Power Up Your Business program at CCP, and I'm aiming for the 10K SB. And one of the greatest, there was a lot of good lessons in there, but one of the best ones for me was to really think about how to work more on my business rather than in my business. And what I know is that I can do a lot of things, but I can't do it all on my own. So I'm here to sort of figure out what the benefits might be and learn more about how I might bring other people closer into the business to help things get done faster, better, and achieve larger goals.
Thank you. And I think the last one, perhaps, Fran, can you help me? Small Biz
Philly.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
How you doing? So I'm Small Biz Philly. Basically, I promote small businesses on my website, smallbizphilly.com. And I'm in the process of forming a nonprofit to provide free and low-cost technical assistance to people in the Philadelphia area that want to start and grow their business. And also, I am planning on putting on live workshops and events for small business owners. And I also do ghostwriting and content strategy for small business owners. You can check out my website, smallbizphilly.com. Thank you.
Thank you. And have I missed anyone else? I think we're
Well,
okay.
good. Yes, thank you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing your entrepreneurial achievements and dreams. To begin with, we think advisory boards can be a big help, if not immediately, eventually, for all of you. I'm going to ask Brittany to talk about this advisory board. Here we are, Brittany.
All right, awesome. Thank you all for joining. It was very cool to hear your background. So I took some notes. So we have a number of industries that you've covered. So realtors, retail, education, employment support, consulting firms, design, website design. All of you have a number of challenges that you're looking to solve for, whether it be growth, whether it be kind of coming back from impact of the pandemic, or potentially moving into a new location. So a number of strategic decisions that you're up against. And I forget who had mentioned the idea of working on the business instead of in it, but that's really what this is all about. So the Advisory Network for Small Businesses, it's a volunteer organization that's focused on growth and helping navigate some of those more complex strategic decisions. So we have a team of business owners, entrepreneurs, corporate executives that come together and volunteer their time. And we create, based on the business need, a team of people with expertise in the field that you're looking for to create a sounding board to help you navigate some of those decisions. So each volunteer has expertise in some particular discipline, whether it be HR, marketing, finance, operations, things like that. And we kind of customize that team for you and for your business to help you create that growth or that profitability that you're looking for. Do you want to go to the next page?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a number of teams that are, or groups that you've probably heard of before. So an advisory team is what we're talking about today. There's also consultants. There's also a board of directors. We wanted to spend a minute kind of differentiating what each of those does. Let's start at the bottom left. So an external consultant is somebody that you hire. They often work in the business. They're hired by the CEO and they're focused on helping to solve a problem. A board of directors is part of the decision-making team. So they have a fiduciary responsibility for helping the business navigate some of these challenges. And they represent the shareholders and they're selected by the shareholders of an organization, but they are part of the decision-making body. An advisory team is just that. So it's a group that's kind of put together to support the CEO and to advise the CEO, but you guys actually make the decision. So we can present you with information and help you work through the decision-making process and evaluate different options that are on the table, but we don't make that decision for you. You own your business, you make the decision. Again, it's a group of 3 to 5 business leaders. So we put together a customized team for you, but you have input into what it is that you're looking for and what it is that you're trying to solve. So you are involved in kind of creating what that team ultimately does look like. All right, so what does that mean? What does this actually do to you? So since you're focused on working on your business, this is really a group that's intended to be a sounding board for the CEO because they're bringing that different expertise, right? So maybe they work in a different industry, but they're really hyper-focused on the type of problem that you're looking to solve. When you have this group of 3 to 5, it tends to be 4 to 5 team members that's created for you. The interesting thing is you now have access to their entire network. And if you recall, the advisory network for small business in particular, we have about 15 or so board members. So you also get access to the network of the board for our group as well. So it's really a nice kind of networking piece that'll help you kind of solve for some of these challenges. One of the biggest pieces that I think is really important to note, though, is this only works if you're willing to share information about your business, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So there is an important confidentiality piece where we don't share your business information with anyone else, but you need to be able to share it with us in order for us to actually be able to help you. So when you actually get into the nitty gritty of it, like I said, it's a lot of working on business and not just in it. So we actually work with you to decide, here are the specific goals that I have or that I'm trying to solve for. These are the types of decisions that I'm trying to make. These are the types of problems that I want to solve and I need some help. And then we help put together a plan for how you're going to work through that over the course of the next year. So it can get really, really detailed in terms of, are you looking to determine if you should rent or own your building? Are you looking to find ways to increase salaries for your employees so that you can maintain the employee base that you already have? Are you looking to find a way to grow a different set of customers? So we can really help you drill down in a specific benefit that you're trying to extract from this type of a team.
Great. So Brittany, thank you. And we're going to ask Neil to talk about advisory teams from ANSB in action.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty simple process. I'll walk you through this slide and talk a little bit about how everything works. We have a quarterly meeting where we get together with the entire team, including the owner. And these usually last about 2 hours. We'd love to do them in person, but thanks to COVID, a lot of our activity is on Zoom. We determine the perfect times to meet that's conducive to your business, and we try to accommodate your needs as best as we can. But the obvious goal is to have the entire team assembled for the meeting. Now, the way we operate very specifically is we come into these meetings with a very defined agenda. So we want to know exactly what we want to try to accomplish in those 2 hours. A member of the ANSB board will serve as a mentor, and they'll kind of steer the meeting through to make sure that we're still on track and that everything gets done. In the mid-quarter meetings, we also do them on Zoom. These are only 1 hour in length, and again, the dates are determined by the entire team, and we do that agenda approach on these meetings as well. You know, our focus on all of these meetings really is on reviewing the financials and where the current financials are at. We ask you to do some homework, things we want you to try or implement in your business, and we would look forward to having you give us a report back on what was achieved and how it went for you. And then finally, we always end the meeting by discussing what the current key challenges are that you're faced with. And we do some open brainstorming on how you might be able to deal with those. It's a process of refining the strategy. We try to build up a network behind you, so you always have professionals available to you to help. We bring you best practices from our industries and our experience and ask you to consider them in your activities. And we'll also coach you on leadership skills and the ways to manage your business effectively. Again, we've been there, we've done it, and we want to share what we've learned with you so you could utilize it. This again goes for 1 full year. So the panel, all 4 or 5 members of the panel will stay with you for 1 full year. And candidly, at the end of this time period, we frequently get involved post that time period. So you pick up the phone and say, Neil, you know, I got a question about video. Can you help me with a quick answer? That's the kind of way we operate. You know, we're a part of your new network moving forward after the 1 year time period. Okay, if we can go to the next slide. Is an ANSB advisory team right for you? Well, you know, we find that out during the application process, and we spend quite a bit of time going back and forth on the application because we want to identify what are the real opportunities for growth in your business. What is the potential as we see it and as you see it? We spend some time diving into how the advisory team could be helpful to you, what specifically you could expect from us in those different categories where we'll have experts provided for you. We talk a lot about the expertise that you're going to need. So I think it was mentioned earlier, it could be marketing help, could be finance, certainly could be HR, could be operations. We match those 4 or 5 individuals up as best we can to provide you with some great insights in those different categories. And you may have some current opportunities for growth that you want to use this panel for. A good example of that is you're introducing a new product or a new service in your company. And there's a whole launch critique that is going to be necessary to get there. In these kind of instances, we can help you, or maybe you're going to be repositioning your company for a number of reasons. Could be COVID, could be whatever. We can help guide you and give you direction and input and allow you to have the background to make these strong decisions. And now, as far as when it could start, once you're done with the application process and approved, it'll start based on your schedule and when you could accommodate it. For example, if November, December, or the holiday time period is the most important time period for you from a sales standpoint, we obviously would then push off the panel to January or February when you're in a better position to deal with it. Next slide, Therese. Oh, there we go. I emphasized in the top that this is a confidential advisory board. We want to assure you that the people on your panel or your advisors, they know all about confidentiality and they'll treat your information like it was their own information. That's a very important fact that you need to realize. We talked before about getting 3 or 4 or 5 professionals with different perspectives and expertise. There's the categories that we might be drawing from. These sessions are open, they're honest, and they're engaged with professionals who are volunteering their time to help you overcome your business opportunities. And I mentioned this a little bit before, but the people on these panels have gone where you want to go previously. So we've done it, we've experienced it, and we could help guide you. We'll give you our perspective, we'll give you our wisdom, and we'll give you a handful of ideas that you could implement. Now, how do you work effectively with these advisors? Again, we're very demanding in having clearly defined and written purpose or goal. So we want to know exactly what we want to accomplish. And that's the only way the advisors can give you the kind of support you need and that you could stay focused during that 1-year time period. We're very open to diverse perspectives and ideas. We have scheduled meetings. We ask that they not be changed once they're set, but we make them in cooperation with your schedule to make sure that you can attend. We also follow up all of the sessions with some very detailed communications, including any of the homework assignments that we think would be beneficial for you to execute in your business. Again, our ground rule, total confidentiality, because we're going to be asking you to completely share the key business information of the day. Again, it could be the good and it could be the bad, but the only way we can help you is if we know these facts. And the final piece is the CEO really must be engaged and act on the issues. So if you're the business owner or CEO or president, we need you to at least try some of the new ideas and thinking and then report back to us if it worked. And if it didn't, we could enhance it and try to improve it so it fits with your business. And I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, Neil. Now we're asking Fran, who has a unique perspective as the director of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program, and with a lot of experience in that program of seeing growth entrepreneurs who have used advisory teams. And Fran's going to tell us, okay, what really happens and what is that experience? Fran?
Well, thanks, Therese, and I want to thank my fellow presenters as well as the folks on the line. I want to acknowledge that there are 3 10KSB alumni on the line, Andre Andrews, April Powell, and Eric Truxton. And I was tickled to hear that Sharif is an alum of Power Up and is wanting to get into 10KSB. So one of the values of having an advisory board, particularly after you've had some support through an organized educational program, is that you can take what you've learned and you enter the advisory process with some specific problems that you want to work on. And so once you do that, you're then able to take advantage of this year-long process that supports you in focusing on the problem, focusing on the opportunities as a result of the problem, and leveraging a group of people, 3 to 5, as Brittany and Neil have shared, that can help you by asking you questions and holding you accountable to review the resources and make decisions that will help your business grow. So I noticed that a number of you have businesses in different industries, as Brittany identified, and really the power of advisory teams is to help you not take the journey alone. That's the true power. Therese, is there anything else that you'd like me to emphasize?
Well, I know that you have seen graduates of 10KSB experience an advisory team.
Yes,
And
I
you
have.
and I wonder what really happens. And I know we have one more slide that's going to allow us to have Laura Kelly, who's another 10KSB alum, speak about what her experience was. And I almost think that it would be helpful for you to start by letting everybody know what 10KSB is.
Sure. Sure. So let me briefly identify. 10KSB is sponsored by the Goldman Sachs Foundation. It's a 14-week free business education program. And what's powerful about it is that the focus is both on you as the business owner and your business. And instead of being technical assistance and saying, okay, your business has problems, your business has issues, let's try to fix them all, it really helps you focus on the bigger strategic picture. And so you're really asked, understanding that you're a business that's been in business 2 years or more, that's one of the qualifications, that you're a business owner or a co-owner, that you have 75K in revenue to 10 million in revenue, and that you're committed to growth, is that you're willing to be in a peer learning environment. So you're coming together and you're sharing and learning with other business owners. And as part of the accountability process, you're meeting almost every Friday for 8 hours straight to learn, to think, to do, to apply business concepts to your own business. And you're creating a growth plan based on an idea that you think might help generate at least 10% more revenue for your business. And so the process is rigorous. It's about 100 hours of class time and another 100 hours outside of class. There are some benefits in those extra hours. You get a business advisor that is assigned to you that you meet with weekly. You are part of a growth group, so a group of other business owners that you work with. And you have access to external resources. So we bring in experts through panels that help you think about and again, apply your knowledge. It is a competitive process. So for the 3 people that are alumni, they are very aware that there's a lot of paperwork and an interview process to make sure that you're really ready for the program. And the benefit of the program, in addition to having your growth group, is that you are then part of a community of entrepreneurs. So classes right now are held at the Community College of Philadelphia. Right now we have 736 alumni, and we are working on cohort 28. So we've been doing this for a while. Next year will be our 10th year anniversary. And we're really interested in helping entrepreneurs grow their business. So that's a little bit about the program, Therese. And I do want to give a shout out to Power Up. Sharif, having gone through that program, recognizes that it is a very similar program. Power Up Your Business is held at Community College of Philadelphia. It is only for Philadelphia-based residents, and it is a 12-week program versus a 14-week program, and it is held in the evening. So it's about three to 4 hours on a weekly basis. It too is rigorous, and in that program, people develop a tactical business plan. So what's exciting is in the Philadelphia area, and I'm so glad that PIDC and Marla really promote a lot of ways for entrepreneurs to get support. 10KSB and Power Up at the Community College of Philadelphia are really part of an entire ecosystem that's dedicated to helping entrepreneurs. And the final thing that I'll say is the reason that I'm here today is that business owners that are committed to growth are continually seeking ways to better themselves, their employees, their teams, their services, and serve their customers and communities. So once you get sort of the basics down, it really is helpful to continue to have support, and advisory teams customized to your needs is a wonderful way to do that. And we're really, really happy that we're able to support both female and male businesses. So if you haven't gone through Power Up or you haven't gone through 10KSB, you still could look at our website and see if you meet the criteria so that you might be able to have an advisory team. So based on that, Therese, I'd like to turn it back over to you and have folks hear from Laura Kelly.
Thank
who
you.
is
Yes.
a 10KSB alum.
Yes, I think it's fair to say that a number of 10KSB graduates and alums have found advisory teams are great. And the reason is that, of course, if you have graduated from 10KSB, you know you finish with a growth plan, a detailed growth plan. And I will also say the Power Up program, I think, is often a feeder to 10KSB alum from Power Up or getting ready perhaps to do 10KSB. And 10KSB alum graduate with a growth plan, but they don't have an advisory team at that point. And so as they implement the growth plan, they find immediately or a few years later that it's helpful to have an advisory team. Laura Kelly, who some of you may know because I think she's really a well-known entrepreneur in this region. She has the Handwork Studio, which now has summer camps across the country to teach handwork to kids in the summertime. She's done fabulously. And here is what she had to say about having an advisory team after she'd done all those things and why she wanted one. Yes, wait a minute. Here we go. Oh, Neil, help. Why am I unable to do this? Neil, can you help me? Neil.
Click on it again, please.
Yeah, hold on, Therese. I will also try to pull up the video.
Okay, thank you. Wait a sec. Oh,
Therese, just click on it one more time so I can see what the message says.
wait a second. Neil, I am suddenly, much to my embarrassment, I am having a problem. Wait a minute. Okay. Here we go. Am I sharing? The wrong thing. Dear. Okay. This. Here we are. So, Neil, I'm going to push on click here, correct?
Yeah, click on it so I can read what it says underneath.
I'm not seeing anything. Let me look again. Do you see that?
Continue. Click yes, please.
And now this is where I am. Do we have an alternative way to get that?
Why don't you go to the questions section and I'll see if I can pull it up.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you. Okay, so we're now going to talk about questions. I wonder, yeah, hold it. Okay, thank you. We hope to be able to show you a nice little video of Laura talking about the time when she did access an advisory team, when she was growing very, very quickly. And she'll talk a little bit about how her advisory team allowed her to get a handle on growth that was going very quickly. I wonder, do we have any questions now that you go to more of a discussion time? Those of you who've joined us, especially Andre, April, and Eric, you've graduated from 10KSB. Do you have some questions as you hear about? I see Emily has her question, her hand up. Emily, will you raise your question?
Yes.
Please. Oh, you may need to. I'm
Oh,
going to ask you.
yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the information. It's very useful. I think I met a lady, her name is April, from your team in one of the events recently. So my question is, for the nonprofit organizations, do you have any plan to help? I know you'll help the entrepreneurs with 2 years business. For startup businesses or nonprofit organizations, can you please direct us to where we can get help to enhance our board and for marketing and sponsorship fundraising? Thank you.
Yes, yes. Brittany, do you want to take that?
Sure. So ANSB can definitely work with nonprofits. The key there is going to be how long you've been in business. So I would say if you're at the stage where you're in that startup phase, I'm trying to think. I know there's organizations like SCORE and some other local organizations that might be able to help you in that beginning phase. I'm trying to think. Besides SCORE, that was the one that I worked with most frequently. Is there other ones that kind of come to mind for you? I guess the small business development centers would be a really good spot for something like that.
Maybe Marla will have an idea. I'm wondering about the Power Up program. Will Power Up, Marla, work with a nonprofit?
I think Power Up is purely for profit.
Okay.
I think they do not take nonprofits, but I will confirm.
Thank you. And Emily, I know the small business development centers also must work with for-profit businesses. So it's a little bit more challenging to start to find your help with a nonprofit, but we'll take your email and we'll let you know if we come up with some programs.
Thank you so much. I cannot get access to the chat. If you could take off disable so I can tap in my email.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we will have your.
Oh, you have my email address. Okay, great.
The IDC has it, so we'll be fine there. But I'm concerned you cannot get to the chat. And in all honesty, I don't know. But we'll flag that for PIDC. Neil, I see you've put another link here. Should I try it? Maybe not. Okay.
I can send an email when I receive the link. If that works, I will send a reply email to ask for the information for the nonprofit.
Okay,
to see how
we'll
that
make
works.
that note. I'm not sure
Okay.
we'll be able to send you the email right now, but we'll have it later.
Thank you so much, Therese. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Thanks. You're
Would
welcome.
anyone, I see a hand up. I think I did. Neil. Is that Neil who's taking over? No, here we are.
We are a summer camp that focuses on kids learning by making. Founded in 2001 at my kitchen table, I had my first engagement with an advisory board in 2015. At that time, we were experiencing tremendous growth, but also tremendous heartache. And fortunately, the advisory board came in and really created a strategic plan for our organization. That plan encompassed things like marketing, HR, and operations. And since that time, I can happily say that we are working smarter, not harder, and having twice the impact on the kids that we work with, twice the impact on our bottom line, and most importantly, giving me peace of mind that I know that we are taking the right steps for the future of the company.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Neil. Yeah, so that gave you a little bit of an inkling of an entrepreneur who used an advisory board. I'm going to tell you another story about an entrepreneur without identifying her, who had about a $4 million business at the time and started with her advisory board because she wanted to get it more solid. She felt like she was racing every month to make payroll. And she wanted to feel more comfortable with the business and to feel that she was getting a handle on it. Her advisory board, she happened to be in the general construction industry. And one of the most valuable people on her board was the partner in an accounting firm with a lot of experience in accounting and in construction. And he showed her what the normal ways are in construction that people, first of all, try to collect their invoices. He said, you are the CEO. In construction, you must make the phone calls to your outstanding uncollected invoices every Tuesday morning. And he helped her prepare a report, and she wound up getting her bills paid on time, which made an enormous difference in being able to pay her people and in being able to plan. She also worked on straightening out some back taxes, which she had been working on, but she actually cleared all the bills, bought the location in which she was working, and was able then to start focusing on even bigger things for her business. Yet another company was one where they had processed food. They actually had cooking sauces that this entrepreneur was selling in Whole Foods. She was very good at market research, and she was very good at getting her sauces made, but she didn't know how to work with a distributor, because to grow her business, she was going to try to place her sauces in a number of other supermarket chains and in the Whole Foods that were bigger than right here in Philadelphia. And so her advisory board, again, we looked at her, said, let's find a board that really helps her meet her needs. So she worked with someone who knew how to work with distributors, how to find them, evaluate them, do the contracts, someone who knew how to develop a brand and clarify a brand. She had so many sauces and everyone loved them, but no one really knew how they were all connected. So she had to bring them all together under one brand so her marketing could be much more powerful. All of these people have financial folks. Neil mentioned how important financials are in the growth. And that's really because you want to be able to feel comfortable. You don't want to be stressed and stretched all the time. Getting a hold of your financials and knowing what you can invest, what you can count on coming in because you've got the right reports and you're managing it, your team's managing it on a week-to-week basis, really makes a difference. And so we always have a financial person on one of our advisory teams to help the entrepreneur and the leader. We actually do work with nonprofits to help the leader of that organization feel very comfortable that as they expand and grow, they're going to have the financial resources to do it. I wonder, do we have more questions? Any more questions? Any more comments from the panel?
One thought it just occurred to me when it comes to nonprofits, the one challenge that advisory teams run into is you oftentimes do have a board of directors. So it's important to have a distinct role and make sure that it would be complementary to the board of directors. I've seen a little bit of a challenge kind of navigating that in the past where it didn't make sense to have both. So just food for thought as you're trying to figure out, is this a good fit? It's certainly something we could have a conversation about. And if you're kind of on the fence and you aren't sure, I would encourage you to reach out. Don't vote yourself out without actually having talked to somebody. But just know that that is an additional layer of challenge that we would need to think through.
Exactly. And I wonder, Neil and Fran, would you like to have some closing comments before we go to the finishing up of the materials we want to share?
Sure, I'll just make a comment. Just make a comment. You had an opportunity to hear Laura Kelly, and then Therese provided two other examples. Picture yourself a year from now feeling more confident, feeling more courageous, and feeling more committed to growing your business because you didn't make that year all by yourself. Instead, you had a team of people who were experts asking you questions, holding you accountable, and helping you to have information to make better decisions about your business. ANSB is designed to provide an advisory board that will help you be more successful in your business. And if you feel committed to your business and want to apply what you've learned in other programs and move to the next level, this is a great way to do it and be supported. So that would be my comment.
Thank you, Fran. And Neil, before I ask you, I noticed that Sharif has his hand up. Sharif?
Hi, just I think if I'm hearing correctly, that the advisory board is convened for a year, like that's how long the service is. And I'm wondering if, let's say you have an advisory board convening around you because you want to grow your business to a certain point. Let's say you get there after that year, a year later, or even within the same year, if it's, you realize, our marketing really could use some help here. Is it possible to have a second board, or how does that work?
Yeah, it is possible for sure. If we've been smart with working with you in the application process and the get ready to have the advisory board, you will have changed your business during that first year, and you almost surely will want to have a little bit of time for yourself to continue with whatever it is you've been implementing. But definitely, if you're ready for another project and maybe another focus to an advisory board, it's definitely possible. The main issue is, can an advisory board help you?
Got it. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, Neil, would you like to make a closing comment, and then I'll ask Marla before we finish up.
Yeah, really, the only comment I have is it may sound a little bit intimidating when we're throwing out that we have these senior executives who are willing to help you in the business, but it's actually a fun process. We'll roll up our sleeves with you. The meetings aren't so serious that you can't get a laugh in now and then. But the important thing is when we walk out of a session, you'll have a better idea of how to address your business moving forward. And we're right there all the time to pick up the phone and ask for additional assistance or help. on a particular problem you're faced with that day.
Great, thank you. Well, let me bring up, Marla, I'll bring up our last slide so we share the rest of our information about our program. Okay. Brittany, would you talk about eligibility, please?
Sure. So we talked a bit about, are we a good fit for you right now? And that's really what this piece is about. We do have a threshold for revenue. The purpose of that is that there's a cost to this. We want to make sure that it makes sense for your business and that you're in a place where this is going to have the impact to make it worth it. So for service businesses, the annual revenue threshold is $250,000. Manufacturing businesses is a little bit higher at $400,000. If you're right on the cusp, I encourage you to reach out. They're in place for a reason, but there can be a little flexibility if it makes sense. We do ask that our businesses have 2 employees, one of which can be you as the owner, but we want to see that you're in a place where you're starting to grow, that you've been in business for at least 3 years. And one of the biggest differentiators for is this going to work or not is your coachability. Are you open to having different ideas that maybe conflict with your thinking? Are you open to kind of approaching your business in a little bit of a different way? Are you open to kind of trying some new things? And obviously those are important pieces. If you're looking for advice, you've got to be willing to have the conversation about it and possibly take it. So while you get to make the decision of, is this the right thing for me? You've got to at least be available to, or open to having that dialogue. And then do you want to go to the next page? So I did mention that there is a cost to this, and the cost is tiered based on the size of your business. One thing that I think is really important to note, so my background is in banking, and I've worked a lot with small businesses, and I'm well aware that every penny is important to a business. So I would consider this an investment. And just to give you some perspective, if you were to hire a consulting firm, if you were to actually go and build your own advisory team, which is certainly an option, but not through ANSB, the cost of that is significantly higher. You're probably looking at close to $1,000 a month with something like that. And here, depending on the size of the business, it's between $1,200 and $3,000 for the full year. So while I recognize there is a fee, the purpose is it's an investment into your business to have access to the executives, to the people that have been in your shoes, to be able to kind of help you navigate through some of those decisions. Fran, I know you've had some nice perspective on this before, so I'll toss it over to you before we wrap up.
Well, thanks, Brittany. Again, for those of you that are still on the line, and I know some of the businesses that are on the line, the opportunity that you have is to have a focused team working with you to help you as you're making critical decisions in your business. And the fee for the advisory team is really, as Brittany said, an investment that allows you to increase your commitment and have access to people who will help you. So if you have any further questions, we do have a website, and you can go to the website. There are some videos on the website. You'll get to see some of the folks who are part of advisory teams. And Therese has a slide right here that, like every good presentation, we want to help you take action. So there's a number of things you can do. We appreciate you being on the webinar today. Encourage you to go to www.ansb.org. We can put that in the chat. You can click right away. There is a preliminary application, and we do in fact have several people based on our last application that went to the website, that joined us at a networking event, that went ahead and completed the full application, and they are on track to start their advisory boards relatively soon. We do have a meet and greet, so if you want to meet some people and see what we do and how we do it and have your questions individually answered, that is being held in Conshohocken on October 12th, so very soon. And so we will have limited spots for that networking event. If you're interested, please get in touch with Therese because she is the chair of client recruiting and strategic relationships. So Therese, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you. And just in case you are thinking about getting involved with the Goldman Sachs program, which we highly recommend, if you're focusing on begetting a growth plan and strengthening your management skills. I know that that program is now accepting applications for the next cohort, and you'll see the information here. As we finish up today, our good friends at PIDC are going to send you later today or tomorrow the PDFs of this presentation, along with an email that has the link to sign up for the meet and greet. And if you have any trouble with it, you can email me directly. Let's see, I want to mention just one thing that we didn't actually speak about, but was back on this particular page. The expenses that we do ask to be covered by an applicant they cover the ANSB expenses for Zooms and various other administrative costs, but all the board members and all the team members that you have will be volunteers. It's a very important aspect of it because you will find that these are all people who care a great deal about your business and want to see you succeed, and they're quite pure about it, pure and excited in working with you. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to go back and thank Marla for hosting this webinar, giving us a chance, we who are associated with the Advisory Network for Small Business, to talk with some of the people in the community of PIDC. And I hope we'll see you all again in various wonderful networking events and educational programs. Marla, thank you very much.
Sure, Therese, thank you. Thank all of the panelists. Thank you for the participants who have come today. Those of you who have been with PIDC in the past, you know we stand by all of the programming that we present to you. We put the full faith and honor and integrity of PIDC behind the programming, behind the panelists. So this program is no different. We've had the opportunity to work with these professionals in the past. And if we're bringing it to you, we are confident that these are the tools that will help you take your business beyond what you've been able to do by yourself. So we applaud and encourage you to continue, but for every business, in the life cycle of every business, it reaches a point where the business owner cannot do it alone and they need help. And this is one of those programs that will give you the kind of support. I've seen some of the business owners who have been the beneficiaries of these advisory boards, and the impact is beyond what you could ever do by yourself. So we thank you for those of you who have completed Power Up Your Business, those of you who have completed the 10,000 Small Businesses program. Those are cohorts, and cohorts are good in groups, but you always get to a point where you need that one-on-one support. It takes a lot to admit that you need one. It's like saying, I need a therapist. You know, nobody wants to admit that they need a therapist, but at some point you need that one-on-one support. And having a panel that's going to break out the individual, not industries, but the individual issues, the compartmentalize your business, marketing, finance. You need that support. So we encourage you to take advantage of this. And I think the last thing I want to mention is so many of the programs have been free to you, but not without a cost. someone is paying for those initiatives. And so all of those, whether it's 10,000 small businesses, whether it's Power Up Your Business, they are free to you, but there is a real cost involved. At some point in the growth of your business, you have got to start budgeting the professional support that you get in your business. Oftentimes, you have to budget for an accountant, you have to budget for a lawyer. Now you start to see what kind of professional support. So don't be afraid to budget when you need professional support, you need professional development. Don't be afraid of it. And then be transparent when you get the support. Don't be afraid to acknowledge that your business isn't where you thought it would be at this stage of the life cycle. Help is here, and these are the professionals who bring that help. So PIDC is glad to host today's session. We will send you the copies of the presentation. And as Therese said, there's additional information that we're going to include in that email about the meet and greets that are coming up. So with that, if anyone has any other questions, remember to go to the PIDC website where you may get a replay of today's webinar. We also want to make sure that you are signed up to receive the PIDC newsletter, which has information on this program and all other programming that we're able to provide and present to you. So to our friends at ANSB and 10KSB, we thank you again for another great program. And we look forward to hearing about the people who are applying and taking advantage of this opportunity for their own good. So with that, we're going to sign off. Thank you all again. It's good to see some people who have been with us for a long time, and then it's good to see the new people on today. So without that, have a great day and look forward to hearing great things. Take good care. Bye.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you so much.